home video.
Bruno, a young composer, has just hit the jackpot. He's been hired to score a new horror film, and he's being put up in a swanky villa to provide him some privacy. Unfortunately, he's not alone. People keep dropping by unannounced, and then promptly disappear. And there's the matter of a former tenant who will kill to keep their secret safe. Director Lamberto Bava has had an interesting career. Despite directing bangers like Demons, Delirium, and A Blade in the Dark, he never quite broke out from under his father Mario Bava's shadow. Granted, it's a pretty big shadow. Mario Bava did for Italian genre cinema what Hitchcock did for genre cinema in the US. Lamberto worked on a number of his father's films as an assistant, and co-directed with him 1977's Shock, which I also highly recommend, as well as assisting Dario Argento on films like Inferno and Tenebrae. In other words, Lamberto had two very good teachers to learn from, and an apt pupil he certainly was. A Blade in the Dark is 100% giallo goodness, with some peculiarities. As a matter of fact, the movie didn't start out as a movie at all, but rather a 4-part miniseries. But when it was deemed too violent for Italian television, that changed. A Blade in the Dark does feel a little draggy in the midsection because of this, and I did opt to watch the longer cut of the film on this release, which didn't help with the dragginess. Put it this way, if A Blade in the Dark were a sandwich, and the first and third acts being the bread, and the second act being the meat or spread, the bread would be the best part of the sandwich. And hey, I love bread. Just look at me. And then we have our protagonist, Bruno. And Bruno is not the easiest protagonist to get behind. Not that he's a bad guy or anything. He's just very apathetic about everything. Imagine this. You're all alone in this huge villa. It's dead quiet, the middle of the night. You're just walking down a hallway, minding your own business, when suddenly a closet door bursts open and a hysterical woman jumps out at you. How would you have responded to that? Well, let me tell you, nay, show you how Bruno responds. Oh. Later in the movie, somebody breaks into the villa and destroys Bruno's hard work. I'd be crushed. I'd be pissed. Bruno's reaction, huh. It's not a huge deal or anything. Actually, it's pretty amusing. Even when Bruno realizes that his life is very much in danger, he just takes it all in stride. Maybe Bruno is supposed to serve as an avatar for the audience, for someone like me who is so desensitized to violence. I don't know. But back to the topic of violence, Bava and screenwriter Dardano Sacchetti treat us to a couple of really nice and pretty mean-spirited kills. For instance, the killer works over one victim really bad in a bathroom, and then has a breakdown while cleaning up the mess. I've heard of crying over spilled milk, but never crying over spilled blood, particularly when you're the spiller. We get an extended cat and mouse sequence early on, which serves to nicely establish the setting, and I think it's cool that the killer uses a box cutter, like this one. I love the setting. The villa is this sprawling, minimally furnished estate where multiple murders can take place right under Bruno's nose, while he's none the wiser. The setting is claustrophobic despite its size, and gothic despite its austerity. The final act ramps up the pacing and the body count. We get a nice swerve tossed our way toward the end, but unfortunately, it's followed up by a pretty lackluster finale. A Blade in the Dark isn't a perfect giallo, and it's not Bava's best work, but it's a movie that I've always been fond of. I love the setting, the kills, the mystery, the mean-spiritedness, the score, the nonchalant protagonist. So imagine my excitement when I saw that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing the film on 4K. And then I saw the packaging. Dios mío. So first let's take a look at the packaging. And just look at that packaging. Goodness. We get a 40-page book featuring essays by Alexandra Heller-Nichols, Dana Reynous, and Carolyn Kopko. This release comes inside a high-quality slipcase. I can't show you the back of it because it's not safe for YouTube. The sleeve is also reversible, but I can't show you the reverse of it either because it's also not safe for YouTube. This is a 4-disc set. The first 2 discs are 4Ks. The first disc contains the 109-minute extended cut of the film. Disc 2 contains the 97-minute theatrical cut. Discs 3 and 4 are Blu-rays with both cuts of the film and a plethora of extras. As for the 4K picture quality and sound quality, this release is newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm camera negative. As for audio, this release features a DTS HD master audio track. This is without question the definitive release for A Blade in the Dark. The 4K restoration brings out a nice level of detail in the image. The grain levels are even and not overbearing or murky looking, even during the darker sequences. Skin tones look natural and the colors are vivid, especially the reds. The sound quality is crystal clear and full-bodied. Overall, I'd give both the picture quality and the sound quality on this release a 4.5 out of 5. As far as extras are concerned, first up we have Don't Go Down the Stairs, an interview with director Lamberto Bava. It's 16 minutes and 34 seconds in length. Mr. Bava discusses the inception of the movie, which was originally titled The House with Dark Stairs. He discusses how the film was intended to be a 4-part episodic miniseries, the budget, the shooting locations, and the cast. Mr. Bava also discusses the kills, the score, editing his own work, the fandom for the film, and he admits that he's a bit of a chicken and has implemented his own fears into his films, and much more. Next we have House, an interview with screenwriter Dardano Sacchetti. It's 20 minutes and 54 seconds in length. Mr. Sacchetti discusses how A Blade in the Dark began with one of the producers purchasing the villa the movie was shot in. The producer asked him to come see the house and then write a movie that could be filmed there. He discusses the writing process, proposing Lamberto Bava to direct, being on set from beginning to end, how the opening of the film was inspired by his own test of courage from when he was a boy with a dark, creepy cellar in his home. He discusses how displeased he is with Bava's handling of that scene, and more. Next we have Lights in an Empty House, an interview with cinematographer Gianlorenzo Battaglia. It's 16 minutes and 41 seconds in length. Mr. Battaglia discusses working with Mario Bava on a number of films prior to working with Lamberto, the limited budget on A Blade in the Dark, the shooting locations, the cast, and much more. Next we have The Gothic Slashers of Lamberto Bava, a video essay by film historian and author Sam Deegan. It's 17 minutes and 25 seconds in length. We get both the English and Italian original theatrical trailers. We get 2 audio commentaries, the first with The Hysteria Continues, and the second with film historian and author Kat Ellinger. We also get Behind the Blade, an archival interview with Lamberto Bava and Dardano Sacchetti. It's 9 minutes and 24 seconds in length. And we get All the Colors of Giallo, a feature-length documentary exploring Giallo films directed by Federico Cadeo. This is an absolutely exquisite release for A Blade in the Dark from Vinegar Syndrome. Let me know your thoughts on A Blade in the Dark down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, let me know what your favorite Lamberto Bava film is. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your generosity and support. Become a patron today and get early access to videos, have a say in what content appears on my channel, join me for monthly live streams, exclusive watch parties, and more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream, as well as members-only watch parties. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.